Media, the press, the supporters that have come out here today. We'd like to field any questions that you have regarding the bill or some of the advocates here that you'd like to speak to. That's why I introduced who we have here behind us. Are there any questions?
Can you talk about the regulation, products can be grown, things like that, like you mentioned taking control out of cartels' hands?
Yes, in HB 3785 there is a provision in there that allows the state to administer fees and registries so that there's some type of control over the dispensaries and also knowledge of where they're at. It's a 40-page bill. So it is, when we say comprehensive, we mean comprehensive. It looks at every aspect of medical marijuana, the possible misuses, but ultimately it's putting that power back into what we would assume is HHSC, the Health and Human Services Department, to a commission to administer those regulatory practices.
You come from a border city and you see the impacts of drug trafficking and things like that. Does that go into any way why you wanted to do this bill?
You know, I'm glad that Don Lee's here because I served on county affairs for 2 sessions, and I've always said that El Paso or any other border community is still a part of Texas. This issue is not about the border. This issue is about Texans that need access to medical marijuana as a healthcare option for their treatment.
What do you see as your biggest obstacles to getting this passed this session?
Education. I think many people, when they hear immediately marijuana, there's an apprehension about what exactly we're trying to do here. I think that the biggest part of our role, the advocates that are up here, the other legislators that are supportive of this, Senator Menendez is going to be educating our colleagues to help them understand the process, to also say that we've looked at every aspect, which is why we have the regulatory piece in, the limitations inside this bill. And so that's going to be our biggest goal, and that's going to be the goal of all advocates across the state of Texas, is contacting their legislator in their district. It's very powerful. I will tell you, as a legislator 4th term, when I get an email and a letter from someone that's in my district, that means a hell of a lot more. Coming from one of my people that lives in my district that understands my issues, advocating for a piece of legislation.
What has been the experience of the other 23 states in terms of increased use of marijuana after they legalized medical?
I think that could be a question that could be fielded by Caitlin regarding the other states. Yes. Yes.
There have been a range of success stories from the other 23 states and DC that have brought medical cannabis to their jurisdictions. I think what's important to know about the Texas plan is this was a bill crafted specifically for Texas, crafted after successful bills in other red states. And so oftentimes people, when they think of medical marijuana, they could think of a program like California or Colorado. This will be different in that it's much more tightly regulated and has a list of qualifying conditions. And so the regulation of it and the focus of it is going to be very different than we see in other states, and we're excited to move forward with a bill that's really right for Texas. Nevada is one state that has an excellent program, and our bill was crafted to a certain degree after that bill and after successes that we've seen in other red states.
I'd like to take a second to also recognize Representative Joe Moody.
I apologize for running back and forth like a lot of us are right now, handling a few different things that are moving. Just wanted to commend Representative Marquez on working on this bill. I think that the different organizations that are represented behind me have put a, really started a discussion in Texas that was non-existent 2 years ago, and that's important. I consider Texas to be a leader on various issues. And up until this session, we were really absent from discussion related to marijuana enforcement and how we regulate that market. And it was a national discussion that was ongoing and was happening without us. And as Texans, I don't think we should allow that to happen. We should have a say-so in the way things work in the discussion of policy going across this country. I think we should be leaders on things like this. And so Representative Marquez's bill, I've got a bill that we filed related to civil sanctions on low-grade possession. So this is part of a broader discussion to bring to the legislature to talk to our constituents about. there's not a day that goes by that I'm not approached by someone on the floor saying, I think I've got more emails about your bill than any other bill that's been filed this session. So the discussion has come a long way in a very short period of time. I think the time has come for us to have a serious policy discussion on a lot of different issues related to marijuana enforcement. So I appreciate the efforts of the folks back here. I see my good friend, I'm her token Democrat friend. So.
I've got a lot of Democrats. After all, I'm an Evans from Louisiana.
But this has been it's been a very, I think, very positive experience to talk about an issue that's important to a lot of folks that really haven't been talked about in this building very much. So thank you so much for your time.
Thank you.
Well, like I said to the members of the press and the media, everyone up here is available for an individual interview if you want to get a perspective of those that have used medical marijuana for their treatment. I think that would be helpful. And with that, I will thank you and conclude if there's no other comments and questions. Thank you so much for being here today.
Thank you, everybody.